Hey, what's going on, guys? Jason here, and this is part 5 of the React Notes project series and the last video in this series. So in this video, we'll be wrapping up the project, finishing up what we need to do. So then what we'll be setting up is the edit note component. And what that is whenever we click on the edit button here. So for example, if we click here, edit, let's see, if we click edit, it'll give us a text area with that note's text populated in there and an update button or an update note. So if we want to update this, we can do clean kitchen and then we'll do update, and as you can see, we are updating that note. So that's what we'll be doing in this video and finishing up the project. So let's go ahead and go into our text editor. And so in components, I will create another file here. I'll call it editnote.js. Cool. And this is going to be similar to the add note component. So I'll just go ahead and copy some of this. And I think we should be using mostly the same thing. All right. Cool. So then we'll do an export. Export default function edit notes, and there we go. All right, so then in here we'll grab useContext, pass in note context, and we'll destructure out our state and dispatch. And then let's see here, let's reformat that. All right. And then we'll also make use of use state, since we will also have some local state in this component for the so for what we type in that text area, we'll keep track of that. So we'll actually make use of state here. So the initial state for our edit note component. Let's see. Oops. Let me go back to the finished one. So if we click edit, as you can see, we grab the notes text. So for the initial state in here, what we'll do is we'll do state dot current notes dot text, and then we'll do a const. And we'll then just pass in there, we'll get back value and set value. So if just to recap, whenever we click this edit button, our state is going to be updated. And remember, our state is actually, let's see, in this format. So when we click edit, current note will be updated with that note object that we clicked on. And so that's why when we go in, so in here, that's why we can grab that text for that note. So we'll do state.currentNote.text. So that's where that's coming from. And then we'll make use of use ref, and then we'll pass, leave it like that for now. So then we are also going to do a use effect here. So we want to run this effect when the component renders. We only want it to render once, so we'll pass in an empty array there. And then we'll do a ref.current.focus, so that way we can focus on the text area. That looks good. We'll also add a few methods here, so we'll do handle change. And then pass an event. So then when we are typing in that text area, we want to update the local state. So we'll set value to event.target.value. Oops. All right. And then handle submit. So this will be our method that runs whenever we click the update note button. Pass in an event there. Do an event.prevent default. And we also want to make sure that the when we're updating the note, we're not updating it with an empty value. So we'll add some validation here. So if value.trim equals triple equals to an empty string, we'll give it an alert. Cannot add a blank note. All right, and if that's not the case, else we will fire off our dispatch function, and this will go to our reducer, and the type we'll give it will be we'll call this update note. And then for the payload, we want to pass we want to pass the value, so whatever the value is, our local state, since that's what we will be updating our note with. And then we can do a set value to be empty after that. Okay. Cool, so that looks like it's done. So then we'll go ahead and return our JSX. So we'll do a div with a class of note form. Give it a form tag, and then we'll go ahead and pass an on submit here with the handle submit. All right, inside the form, pass in a text area. We'll add a couple properties here, so we can do, we can do a ref equal to the ref variable we created, and on change to handle whenever we are typing in there to update our state. Pass in our method on change. Value, we'll pass in value. And I think that's good for now. So then from there, let's see. I think we can remove that and do a closing tag. Okay. And then after that, we'll pass in a div. And in this div, we're actually going to do some inline styling since I didn't add the CSS. So we'll do, since I didn't add the CSS in the CSS file, we'll just add it in here. So we'll do style, double curly braces, text align right, and then a button of update notes. I'll give it a capital. All right. I think we're good there. Now we need to go into our reducer and set up this update note action. Okay. Case of update note. All right, so then for this, we want to update the current note that we're editing. So what I'll do is I'll create a variable, call it updated note. Okay. So then this will be the new note that we are going to, or the note that we're updating. So then to update that, we'll go ahead and spread out our state.current note, since that current note is the note we're updating. So that current note we want to update with the new text, and that will come from our action.payload. All right. Next thing we want to do, we'll create another variable, call it updated notes index. And this will basically be the index of where this note belongs. So let's say if we go in here, if we were editing this note here, take out trash, we want to grab this index, so that way when we update this note object and we are going to create our notes array again, or update our notes array, we want to make sure we pass it in the correct index. So that's why we're creating a variable to get that index of where that note currently resides in. So if we go back in here, we'll do updated note index, and we'll do state.notes.find index. Find index takes a function, and we'll go ahead and give it a argument or parameter of note. So this will be the note that we're currently iterating over in the notes array. And we're going to do note.id equals triple equals to state.currentNote.id. All right, so if the note we're iterating over's ID is equal to the state.currentNoteID, we'll go ahead and get that index for it, and that'll be stored in the updated note index. That looks good. So now we'll create another variable, call it updated notes, and now this will be our new notes array with the updated note in that array. So for that, we'll create an array, and we want to the first part of the array we're going to spread out, so we'll do state.notes.slice, and we'll pass in here 0, and we want to then do updated notes index. All right, and then so what's going on here is we're creating a new array, and we want to for the first part of the array basically pass in all the notes, and we're going to slice starting at 0 up to updated note index. So we're going to grab all the notes up to but not including that note index, and that's going to be the first part of this array. And then after that, we're going to we're going to pass in our updated note. So now we know that it's going to be in the correct spot in the array. And then from there, we'll go ahead and spread out state.notes.slice. And then we'll do updated notes index plus 1. So then from there, we'll go ahead and just pass in all the other notes that come after that updated note index. So that way they're all in the correct order. Okay, so that looks good. And then now, now we'll return our new state object. And then we'll do, so current note, since we were updating a note, current note was set to that note we were updating, so now we can set that to null. And then notes will be the new updated notes. And that should be it for our state. Let's go ahead and save that. All right, so now I also need to do one more thing. So whenever I click edit here, let's see, let me show my console since our state is being logged. So currently we have current node is null, we're not editing anything. And when I click edit, so if I click edit here, now our current node is updated, but we're not seeing that text area. So what I'm going to do then is in app.js, let's see, I'm going to go in here inside the notes context.provider. So under the nav component, pass in some curly braces. We'll do state.current notes equals triple equals null. So we're going to do some conditioning ternary operator conditioning. So if this condition is true, if current node is set to null, we want to then, render these components. And if current node is not null, we actually want to render edit notes. So let me import that real quick. So we'll do here, edit note. Oops, that's not the correct way to do it. Edit note. All right, so let's see. Right, so I need to wrap this in a enclosing tag, so we'll just do a div. Just set that, or add that into a div. All right. So currently, since we're not actually editing a note, we are seeing add note and note list, which is right here. But whenever we click edit, that means our current note will be equal to the new note object. So this will not be true. So then it'll render out edit note. So if we do edit, there is our edit note component. And we'll do something like clean living room. And if we update, that looks like it's working. Yeah, so cool. So that works. Awesome. All right. And let's look at our state. So let's see, clean kitchen, that has been updated correctly. That works. Cool. And also let's just check and see if this works. So if it's empty, we get an alert, cannot add blank note. That works. All right. Cool. All right, so that wraps up this project series. So I hope you guys enjoyed this project series using React hooks. And yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more project series like this, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.